Hello students. The topic that I have taken today to discuss with you is closing the sale. Students, salesmanship is the knack of selling a product or service, and in this process the salesman try a lot to convince and sell products or services to prospective customers. Closing is a part of these efforts made by a salesperson. Let us try to see in details the concept of closing the sale. First, let us try to understand what is closing. Closing is the action on the part of the salesperson to close the sale transaction. Closing is the final stage in the selling process. We can say that closing is the climax of all the efforts made in a selling process or in selling a product. Closing the sale is nothing but making the prospect say yes to the salesman's proposition. If somebody asks a question, what a salesperson does in closing, we can say that in closing, the salesperson tries to win the order from the prospect. Now let us see some of the features of successful closing. The first feature that I want to discuss with you is positive attitude. As the salesperson and the prospect move along the various stages of the selling process, automatically they become tense. However, it is better on the part of the salesperson to remain calm and handle the situation with enough confidence. The moment the salesperson finds that the prospect is in a favorable and receptive mood and can easily get his positive approval, the salesperson should try to close the sale. The second important feature is effective presentation and demonstration. The salesperson should always try to convince the prospect through an effective presentation and demonstration. This is important because through effective demonstration and presentation only, the prospect is able to know the benefits and utilities of the product. The third important feature is hold the attention. Here, the salesperson, in order to be successful, should always try to hold and capture the attention of the prospect towards the product. He should always avoid diverting the prospect attention to other things. It may also happen that the prospect may be mentally absent at the time of the sales talk. Therefore, before starting the sales talk, the salesman should put his initial efforts to ensure the concentration of the prospect in his sales talk. Therefore, the salesperson has to make all efforts in repeating and selling points, presenting the demonstration again, etc., in order to hold the mental and physical attention of the prospect. Third is allow questions. A wise salesperson always encourages the prospects to ask questions about the products and tries to remove the doubts from their minds. At no point of the selling process, the prospect should think that the sale is being forced upon him. Rather, the prospect should accept the sales promotion willingly. Then the next feature is let the prospect decide. The salesperson's duty is to assist the prospect in taking a wise decision to ultimately buy a product by which not only the salesperson but also the prospect will be benefited. But the final decision to purchase the product is to be left entirely on the prospect. He should be given complete freedom to make the buying decision himself. The last feature that I want to discuss is hit at the right time. As the sales talk progresses, the salesperson should watch carefully and wait for the indications of agreement or acceptance on the part of the prospect. The salesperson should be thoroughly alert during the sales talk and try to find out the most appropriate moment when the sale can be closed. Now, let us see some of the important methods of sales closing. Although salesmanship is an art and all the salespeople try to close the sale in their own way, however, there are certain established methods which a salesperson can take up in his closing efforts. The first method that I want to discuss is getting a series of positive response. Here, the salesperson asks the prospect a series of questions in the process of the sales talk. The questions are asked in such a way that the prospect also provides a series of yes answers. This method aims at getting a series of positive answers to all the questions and then ultimately making the sale. The second method is narrowing the choice. This method of close is particularly suitable to tackle undecided prospects. Many prospects find it really difficult to choose a specific product when they are offered a wide range of products. It happens particularly in case of ladies selecting saris and dress materials, gents selecting clothing for their suits. Usually, it is difficult to select the right product out of a wide variety of products available. To make the consumer's selection easy, an intelligent salesperson cleverly narrows down the choice of each product by removing the least wanted or unwanted varieties. The third method that I want to discuss with you is offering inducements to buy. Here, the salesperson, in order to close the sale, can offer certain inducements to the prospect. Nowadays, it is very common method of closing. Such special inducements may be in the form of discount, price reduction, free home delivery, after sales service, guarantee, etc. etc. The fourth method is asking direct and indirect questions. Here, the salesperson may try to close a sale by asking the prospect directly if he has finally decided to purchase. When the salesperson comes to know that the prospect has almost reached a decision to buy the product but is not disclosing his decision, he can ask questions about his final selection. Indirect questions may be, how many will you need? Or the question may be, when do you need it? These types of questions can be asked only when the prospect has not expressed his decision. Another method of closing the sale is assuming the choice. Under this method, the salesperson assumes that the prospect has already decided and is going to buy. Accordingly, he tries to assess the eagerness of the prospect. Typically, he can ask questions like, which color do you prefer? The light blue or the dark blue? Or the question can be, where do you want this to be delivered? In this way, the salesperson tries to close the sale by assuming that the prospect has already decided to buy. So students, what we have learned? Closing is getting the order from the customer. It is the last stage of selling process. Next, we have learned that features like positive attitude, good demonstration, holding the attention, etc. help in successful closing. And then we have learned that there are some methods like getting series of positive answers, narrowing down the choice, giving inducements, etc., which a salesperson may consciously apply in closing a sale. Thank you.